This episode is brought to you by Fox One. Watch all 104 matches of the FIFA World Cup live in 4K for just $19.99 a month with 3 days free. Build your own multi-view, choose up to 3 streams, and follow player spotlights. Stay on top of every moment with live stats, highlights, and instant replays. The FIFA World Cup, streaming live on Fox One. Offers are subject to change. See fox.com for complete terms and conditions.
Ever wonder where Tropicana got its name? The tropics. And every time you enjoy a glass, you're not just drinking juice. You're taking a trip. Stepping into sunshine and embarking on a flavorful journey into the tropics where ripe fruit is crafted into wildly delicious juice. And the best part? No passport required. Tropicana. Give life some juice.
Welcome back to Crime Besties. We're here again for another week. I feel like these Fridays roll around very, very quickly.
Oh, they do, but then again, I don't mind that. If it's Friday, I'll take a Friday.
Love my Fridays. Absolutely love it. How's your week been?
Yeah, pretty good. I've had one awake at camp for the second half of the week, so that's been different. And the house is very quiet, even with my quieter child not there.
Yeah, it makes such the dynamic. It's so different.
It is.
I was actually talking to one of the mums at school the other day who's got a son on camp at the moment.
Yeah.
And she's like, my husband and I thought we were done at 1. And then she's like, but then my biological clock was just like, nope, you need to have another child. And she's like, now with him away on camp, I'm like, yeah, maybe we should have stopped at 1. She's like, it's so easy. There's no fighting. There's no, nothing crazy's going on at home. And there's just one kid to put to bed and one kid to make a lunchbox for.
I realised how many things of my life that functions as that I'm a stickler for it, because if I allow one to do it, I have to allow 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That it's okay to have one do that, but oh God, I can't cope if 2 of them are doing that. So,
give me an example, like of
I think the bedtime routine, like kind of stuff of like, I'm like real hard and fast of like when someone's got to be in the shower, when's this is going to happen. Whereas with one of them, it's kind of like,
it'll happen.
Even this morning getting to school, I was like more laid back about what time it was. I don't know. Like it's so weird. Like, 'cause I'm like, I only had one lunchbox to make. And so I know that I'm not going to take as long as I usually do to get ready. And I was just, there's so much of the evening and the morning that I was like, so wow, with one, it's pretty chill.
Very chill.
Pretty chill.
It's actually really nice.
I mean, I massively miss Mace. It's like so much. Actually, because funny, last night I was doing something for the podcast and Mason's way more interested than Brody in that. And I was like showing Brody something and he's like, yeah, whatever. Where I was like, oh, if Mason was here, he'd care.
He'd care. At least someone in the household normally cares.
Yeah. He'd be mad on it. He'd be like, oh my God, that's so cool.
You'll have to show him tonight. Actually, he'll be absolutely right.
I won't be showing him anything. We have a rule tonight. I said to Brody last night that tonight Mason gets whatever he wants.
Yes. We are going to have a very chill, very quiet, very peaceful evening.
Yes. As I said, path of least resistance, mate.
Oh, 100%.
Because he immediately went to like, so if Mason says he wants McDonald's for dinner, then we get McDonald's? Because you see how he, like, the brain works, like, what can I get out of this?
Love that.
And I immediately went, oh, no. There is boundaries here. But if Mason wants the couch, he can have the couch. If he wants the TV remote, he gets the TV remote.
You've had it for the last few nights.
Yeah.
It's his turn. He's going to need it.
Yes, absolutely. He just needs to chill when he gets home because he'll be foul.
Oh, yeah.
He'll have had the best time ever, but he'll need to
get in the shower.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Have a nice, decent wash. Hop in some fresh PJs and just chill on the couch. Perfect night for it too because the weather's disgusting at the moment.
God. We were only saying last night with a couple of parents up to school, like, how muddy do you reckon they are?
Oh, they'd be so gross.
They'll be so gross.
Where they are, no. No. They're in regional Victoria.
Yeah.
And it was like snowing close by.
It was 0.2 degrees yesterday morning when they woke up.
Oh, nice. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Very cold, very wet.
Yep.
So, yeah. But they'll have had the best time.
That's it. And that's all that really matters.
That's
It'll
all
be
that
fine.
matters.
Everything else can be washed. And we've got a long weekend. So we're recording this on the
best.
Friday night before Victoria and some states of Australia, not WA, not
Oh, really?
Queensland.
Don't they get the King's birthday?
had it
They do a different
last-
time.
They do it at a different time. So we are recording just before the King's birthday long weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. The fact that we don't have sport on this weekend has... Okay, right before we hit record, I said to Meg, I assume you're not going to footy training tonight because Mason will have come home and it's the little kids' footy training. You're not going to want to go. And she's like, didn't you see in the group chat? Training's been cancelled. I'm like, I actually, you have made my day.
Yeah.
You
She was
actually
jumping
made my
around.
day.
Like, oh my God.
Because Peter's out tonight, so he can't take him. So
No.
I would have had to have been the schmuck who schlepped around in the freezing cold at Friday night down at footy training. Oh,
Yeah. And you can guarantee it'll rain tonight.
Oh, definitely.
Ugh, yuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's
I'm
nothing worse.
so excited. I just said to you, I'm like, I can come home, open a bottle of red. That's the kind of night it is.
Absolutely. I'm in for that. Totally.
So good.
Yes. No, I'm like
delighted.
As much as yes, Mace is going to be a foul mood, but if as I say, path of least resistance tonight, we'll just go with it. I'll have my wine. We'll be fine. It'll be actually a really
absolutely
nice
fine.
night.
It will be. And you don't have to go out. Oh,
No.
I'm so excited.
No, I'm planning like the entire really long weekend where we're indoors almost like for everything and just chilling out.
Just really chilling.
Yeah. I've got a few things we're going to do out and about, but nothing massive. We're
Yeah.
going to take it easy.
Our kids have a curriculum day on Tuesday too, so they've got an extra long weekend. And then our older two on the Wednesday have hoop time.
Yeah.
Like basketball all day.
I know, Mace was hilarious last week. He goes, Mum, I literally have like 8 days off school.
Yeah, in a row.
In a row.
How amazing.
Yeah.
And next week it's Ollie's birthday and he's like, I've got the best birthday week. I'm like, yeah, you've got
Totally.
a curriculum day,
Yeah.
a public holiday, a full day of sport.
It's exactly up his alley.
Yeah, he's delighted.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Oh, I know
delighted.
but they'll be exhausted if I don't get Mace the rest he needs over this weekend because hoop time day is also an exhausting day
It's
for them.
huge. It's absolutely massive.
Yeah. Oh gosh, they love it.
They absolutely love it. All right,
know.
let's get into some shout outs for today because
Oh,
I've
yeah.
got so many. We've actually just done our merch pack draw this morning, so I just want to
Yes.
give a massive congratulations. This has already gone out on the socials.
Yeah.
We've already contacted the people involved, but we just wanted to give a massive shout out and congratulations to Leanne Lydon, our OG Patreon, who won the first draw.
Yep.
And then our new Patreon winner, Alison Riddle. So a massive thank you to everyone who joined Patreon over the month of May to, go into the draw to win it. Because of that, I've got so many new Patreons to shout out.
It's
so
crazy.
we've got Tanya, aka Norman, Catherine Maxwell, Jenny Smith, Jill, Jackie Gibson, Lou Henrys, Joanne Holmes, Joe Hardacre, Darcy Apps, and Ashley Eddy. So a massive congratulations and thank you to all of you. Congratulations for
Huge
joining
thanks.
us. That's what I meant,
Well,
obviously.
totally.
That wasn't a slip up. We want you to join us and, congratulations to you for choosing a great Patreon to join.
Totally. Yes.
We had Buy Me a Coffee's Miss Tan again.
She's amazing.
She's unreal. Tanya, aka Norman, who you may have listened, he also joined our Patreon this month.
Yes.
This week, sorry. She gave us some extra cash, she said, for Passion Pop or Fruity Lexia. She's like, jokes. Please spend it on good wine. Like, yeah, obviously, we will. And then Jackie, who also joined our Patreon this week.
Yeah.
She also bought us some coffees. I mean,
You guys
obviously
are
wine.
so generous. It's incredible.
But she said she did it because she's like, I should have joined ages ago. So here's a little bump up. So thank you to Jackie, Tanya, and Miss Tan for being so incredibly generous.
Oh gosh, and we did have patrons join us this week, who said to us that this was like sort of a bit of a splurge on herself that she hasn't been able to do for so long. This is what she's chosen to spend some money on at the moment. I just think that's I fully feel the feels on that. Like that, this is something that your little outlet, and that's something that it's part of your self care, to have that thing that you're really interested in and want to join up and join our Patreon. And so I just want to say how much we appreciate that. It's just huge. So, and we hope that we can give you that little bit of time over your week that you get that bit of extra time with us, through the messages on there and through the extra monthly episode that gives you a bit more me time and a bit more chill and enjoy yourself.
That's it. For those of you who haven't yet joined who might like to, our Patreon episode for the month of June is we're going to be discussing The Crash, the Netflix documentary. My God, we've got a lot to talk about. We haven't recorded that yet. We're recording it next week. So yeah, if you want to listen to our episode about that, go over and join our Patreon.
Highly requested on all platforms at the moment. So
I mean, it's so topical, isn't it? And it's everywhere.
Yeah, but we've decided to do it as a Patreon episode. That it's not obviously.
We're not going to deep dive. I think people know a lot about the case as it is. We're more going to just discuss.
We're going to bants about it, more than anything, and give our thoughts and opinions. I guess more so than
that's it.
You can go and watch the documentary if you want well, not that that's a full deep dive, but
not at all,
because there's so much more. Yeah. Which we'll have a chat about in our Patreon episode.
Yes, we will.
So yes, come and join us over at Patreon and get that episode later this month. So you'll see on the socials, I'll put them up again, what our month of June looks like, what our releases are over the month, so you can plan your month ahead.
Yeah, and know what to look forward to.
Yes, tell us which one you're looking forward to most.
Yeah. So just quickly, whenever I write my notes for the week for this, I always I've got this little cover page I do every time, and I list our Patreon so that I've got it all kind of written down and ready to go for the episode. And then I just put I've got a little section at the bottom where I'm if I think of something that I want to talk about, I'll just jot it down on there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I normally print this off sort of. We record on a Friday. I print it off on maybe Wednesday or a Thursday.
Yeah.
And I left it on the kitchen table this week, and I just noticed then, I've looked down and I've looked in the section where, is there anything I wanted to talk about today? Peter's written on there. Producer Pete is a sex machine. Peter! How fucking inappropriate. And, I mean, I'm not going to say it, but...
What are you going to say?
Is that what you think, really?
No. I thought you were going to agree with him.
Oh, God, no!
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, so inappropriate. But you know what he said? He's like, but I should get a shout out every week. And
why?
I'm sorry, why? And he's like, I make coffees. I set up the studio.
Yeah.
I'm like, uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
we probably should be a bit clearer with everyone of what producer's Pete role is.
Oh, no, because people think
they
he's
think that
editing
he does the editing.
and all that. No, guys. Meg is our editing machine. She's amazing. Peter just, supplies us with coffee, and I mean,
he's also supports things. I'm not really, this is not what I know how to do. He has more the technical understanding. I've learnt it by doing that, and I wouldn't say, it sounds awful that I say things that are nice about Peter, but I've learnt things from him as we've gone along. But yeah, if I hit technical issues, immediately I'm onto Peter and I'm like, oh, help. Yeah. But he's our tech support.
Tech support. That's
tech
right.
support.
He'll help when we call on him,
including coffees.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually probably the most important part. Keeps us going for the day.
It keeps us going, gets us ready for sure. I just as we said last week, the coffee art could do with an uplift, but yeah.
He needs to work on that. Well, he's not here today.
No,
and so I had to do your coffee.
Yeah,
and I mean,
it was fantastic.
Thanks. I was going for peach.
Okay,
sure.
Arse was more what I said.
It's literally just a blob because I just pour it out.
Yeah, me too.
The way I make coffee really shits Peter because so he's like one of those people, he weighs the coffee as it's coming out and measures this and does this and blah, blah, blah. I don't. I just can't be bothered. I'm like, however it comes out, it comes out. And I mean, I like a good coffee. Our coffee machine's really good.
Yes.
So I feel like it doesn't make a bad coffee.
No, exactly. It's good enough that you kind of I can half-ass this and still get a good coffee. So,
that's it.
Yeah.
And so I just, and every morning so one of the romance things that he does for me is he makes me a coffee every day.
Yeah.
Every morning. On the odd occasion, if he hasn't gotten his fucking ass out of bed quickly enough to when I need my coffee and I have to make my own.
Oh, what?
Shame on him, I know. He always is like, oh, why haven't you weighed it? Why haven't you used the scales? I'm like, oh my God. I just don't care.
No.
I just don't.
No.
I don't have the...
He thinks you value that. And
yeah, I just don't. It's like when he thought you valued the way he made his dartboard thing.
He'll never ask me to do that ever again.
No.
So and it's on Pete entirely. So Peter's made this. It's incredible. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
It's dartboard out the back here at where we have our studio.
It's not my house, it's the studio.
It's the
and then
studio.
the house is just like, second fiddle.
Yeah. So there's a dartboard out the back, and it's got cameras and everything.
And
in
it scores for you.
itself.
Yeah.
So impressive, I guess.
He's done this project from scratch. It is impressive.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
He was very keen to tell me all about it. And so I had to go out and listen to him talk about it and explain it all to me, which I love how you just go like, yeah, no, I just can't.
I'm not going outside. No. And also I said to Meg, because Peter's like, hey, do you want to come and see this? And you went, yeah. And I'm like, careful what you say yes to, idiot.
My response to you was, I have many questions, but I don't know if I need the answers. But I got the answers. But then after he finishes explaining it all to me of how the whole thing works, I then went to walk back inside and he said, would you like to have a go? And handed me the darts. To which I responded to him, I don't think you want me to.
Because there's some very sensitive equipment around it. There's like a computer, a little TV screen thing.
There's another big TV screen. Yeah. Even further away, but still not safe. To which I was like, I don't think you want me to. And he was like, oh, well, how bad could it be?
Turns out,
yeah.
He let her throw one and he's like, yeah, never again.
No. I still threw the other two just to really make him panic. But I've said to him though, you'll never know until you know. Was I just lulling you into a false sense of security for the next time we play? But now he will never let me play.
You'll never know. He will actually never know because he's not going to let you near the dartboard ever again.
Oh, God. I was like, yeah, I'll get a bullseye. If the bullseye was over the other side of the patio.
I love it. I actually beat him the other day.
Oh, I love
legitimately beat him. Yeah, it was great.
That's so good.
So good.
Yeah. That feels good.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
I also, so the other day we had a screen-free day with the kids, right?
Yeah.
Full day. No screen. I know. Who's getting punished there? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all you. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so Ollie's like, oh, do you want to play chess? Now, I don't enjoy playing chess, but I was like, yeah, all right, I'll play chess against you. Every other time, and Ollie was in like quite a foul mood on this day, right? It was because we'd banned screens.
Yeah.
And every other time he's played chess against me, he beats me hands down, like every time.
Yeah.
Legitimately too. Like it's not like I don't try. I'm not very, my brain just doesn't work that way. So on this particular day though, he's in a bad mood.
He wasn't really concentrating.
Oh, I beat him like, I was like, oh, check. And he's like, no, that's checkmate. And I'm like, oh, it is too.
Oops.
I've actually had a successful week winning a few bits and bobs at home last week.
Well, as I've always said, I've never let my kids win. Never.
No.
And because they've got to learn, like, you win and you feel good about it because you've legit won.
Yeah, that's right.
None of this bullshit like, oops, did I have a pair and I didn't realise?
Yeah.
Like, sorry, nah. They got to win legitimately.
That's right.
And then they'll feel good about themselves.
That's right, exactly.
Oh, don't worry, I get beaten all the time. I have been beaten since they were 2.
I know.
Don't make it sound like I'm a total arsehole and like never let my kid win anything. So I haven't let them win. They've legit won.
Turns out they're actually on top of it.
They're much better at memory than I am.
Of course they are, because they've got capacity for that. You don't have capacity for that.
No.
I don't have capacity to think through the chess moves because I'm thinking about what I'm then about to cook for dinner and what groceries I need to order and where that stage of washing's at. And
my mum legit, like, so this is, old lady stuff, I guess, in some ways, but I love it for her. She's joined a mahjong club.
Oh my God, this is brilliant.
Isn't it great? I
love this.
She's having a great time. But yeah, she's got the capacity now, like, because she doesn't have all, us
the other
and
mental
stuff.
load.
She's got capacity to learn a new skill.
Yeah.
And like, it's not that as easy as you think. And there's 2 different versions or something like that. I don't know. I don't get it. She tells me stuff, but like, I don't have the capacity to learn it. But yeah, she's learned how to play mahjong and is having a great time playing a club.
I'm so impressed. Good on you.
Yeah,
That's
it's really
fantastic.
Cool.
You know what my parents have done? My dad recently retired. They've started playing pickleball.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
My kids love pickleball. Yeah,
It is so
it's a
fun.
really good sport.
The rules are weird.
Yeah, they are. And it's
but it is
complicated
it's
scoring.
very complicated.
I can't keep up with that.
No.
I don't get it. No.
But it is great. It is
Yeah.
really good fun.
Yeah. You know, actually talking about this, getting older and having capacity there, but I had a moment this week where I realised.
An aging moment?
Well, kind of. You know how like when you were, younger, when like you'd get asked for your ID and you'd be like, you know, you think I'm that young.
Yep.
You know, pretty good. I realised I'm in a different phase of life, and the fact that I had this realisation in a pharmacy kind of sums up where it's at.
Okay, go on. I don't know where this is going. Go on.
So when I went to the counter and was like asking for, they're over the counter, but you know, like the ones where you get a
Behind
few
the
more,
counter
few more
sort of thing.
extra questions on, you know, kind of thing when you ask for them.
Oh, what do you need pseudoephedrine for? Oh, I'm actually going to be using them in my little...
No, well, yeah. So I get asked the question, and I've realised I always get asked it now, and I'm like, oh yeah, I look young enough to be doing that, do I? Pregnant by any chance? Breastfeeding by any chance? And I'm like, I'm now at a point where I'm going like I'm hearing those questions, kind of going, I could be that young.
I could be pregnant if I want to be.
If I want to
I
be.
just don't want to be.
Yeah. It's not that I'm old and can't anymore.
I love it.
Like, oh my God, it's a
So
whole
that's
new
the
phase
new,
of
that's
life.
the new carded.
It's the new
Didn't
getting
you
carded.
I wrote a little song to remind you. Choice Hotels get you more of the experiences you value. The Cambria Hotel's got it all. A rooftop bar, have a ball. Bring a date, your squad, or even your mom. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
You have one new message. Translating. Disney and Pixar's Hoppers is now available on Disney+.
You could say that again.
Critics are calling it Pixar's funniest movie ever and a wildly entertaining ride. Blizzard Potato. It's certified fresh and verified hot.
Now we party.
This is incredible!
Wow, I am clearing the rest of the day.
Disney and Pixar's Hoppers now available on Disney+. Rated PG.
Carded. I love it.
being asked if-
Being asked if you could be
Could you be
pregnant. Oh, I love it. Just really quickly before we get started on today's episode as well, during the week, one of my gorgeous, gorgeous work colleagues, Jo,
Yeah.
she came in and she listens to us religiously.
She's a
She
legend.
has got so much bloody merch of ours as well. She's like fully kitted up.
Oh, I love that.
But she came in, she's like, I was listening to your episode this morning and she's like, you know what? I think your newest the next merch release that you do needs to say, for context. And I was like, you know what? I was listening to our episode and we say it a lot.
You particularly.
Me
but
particularly.
I think I just copy you. So, I know because you texted it to me and I hadn't listened to our episode in entirety yet.
Yeah.
And I literally, after getting the message, I kind of went, oh yeah, I think we do say that, you know, but kind of like not registered. And then I got in the car or whatever that afternoon and heard it, and I started playing it in the car as I was driving. All of a sudden, it was like, so in context for that,
context,
it's like for
yeah.
context, and I'm like, oh my God, legit! Like we said it 8 times,
So many times. Like within a short
with a
space
really
of
short
time
space
too.
of time, and I was like, oh my God, no, that's
How
actually
annoying.
a thing.
Yeah, how annoying. But
We
no,
are
but I
really
said
annoying.
to Jo, I'm like, oh God, that's so annoying. She's like, no, it's not. She's like, I love it. It makes me pay attention to what you're about to say.
Actually, going to give context
Yeah.
to the ramblings that we do.
You might then be able to follow along with the other thought processes. I don't know.
Oh Jesus! Oh
Anyway,
God! Yeah.
sorry for all the annoying things we do.
We do so many annoying things.
So
Just
many.
Call them out on us. Thanks. It doesn't mean we'll
I
stop.
was going to say, for context, it'll make no difference. All right, let's get started on today's episode because we've bloody been bantering on a bit too long, Meg.
God, 20 minutes of rubbish.
Absolute rubbish.
Hey, if you're still here 20 minutes after that, you clearly don't hate us that
Yeah,
much.
that's right. I pity that person.
Oh, pity the people that do like us.
All right, let's get started. Today, we are discussing quite an old case and a very cold
one of Australia's
case.
oldest, yeah.
We're discussing the Wanda Beach murders. Now, you and I were just really quickly before we hit record, we were talking about the fact that because this case is so old, a lot has happened obviously since this was initially reported in the early or mid-60s.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of information out there. It's really hard to verify what's true and what's not
Yeah.
because a lot of the people involved in this have passed on and or didn't give statements at the time, and there's so much stuff that is really hard for us to validate. So if you think you know different information, that's quite possible. I've tried to put information in here that I've been able to find from multiple sources. That wasn't always possible. I don't know if you found the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. There's a few things that I kind of went, I've heard opposing things in pieces that I'm like, even coming down to the age of people involved.
Same.
Yeah. So, I mean, little things like that don't really make too much difference whether someone was 18 or 19, like kind of thing. But like
it's just interesting.
But there's some bigger information too that, coming down to witness statements and stuff that you kind of go, well, was it this or was it that? If someone, being bald or shaved or, not, it makes a big difference. So, there's some interesting bits and pieces that we just kind of can't get some accurate information on.
Yeah.
Kind of, I mean, even when you go to the point of, all right, which source do I trust more? Both equally trustworthy sources that you kind of go, well, I don't know which one I'm supposed to go with. So
just keep that in mind when you're listening. We've done our best, but there's lots and lots of information out there if you want to go and do your own research into it.
Yeah.
So I guess let's set the scene.
Yeah.
We're talking about the 1960s, so 1965 this happened, suburban Sydney. It wasn't unheard of. So actually, for context, this happened a year before the Beaumont children went missing. So they went missing in January of 1966 in South Australia, in Adelaide. This happened in New South Wales in 1965. And similarly to the Beaumont children case, which we have done an episode on, we still don't know. It's still unsolved. And
I guess, again, for context, for those that don't know Australia that well, South Australia and New South Wales are far apart. So as much as these are both happening with children on a beach, there's really no connection between the two, even though they're a year apart too. So I guess, someone saying like, they could be the same person. There's a long distance between them.
Yeah,
so,
it's very, very unlikely.
Yeah.
So it wasn't uncommon, I suppose, in 1965 for kids to be catching trains alone.
Yeah.
It was a very innocent time in Australia. It was, people were very, didn't lock their doors, and crime was very low, especially in these parts of Sydney that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And it wasn't uncommon for older siblings to take younger siblings in, as was the case with the Beaumont children case, take younger siblings out for the day or out to the beach. And we'll talk about the circumstances that kind of led that to happen in this case. But it wasn't like, today there's no way I'd let my 12-year-old take my 9-year-old on a bus and on a train out to somewhere that's like almost an hour away. It wouldn't happen.
No.
But what we're saying is it wasn't unusual for the time.
No, this was
for these things to be
very
taking
normal
place.
sort of situation. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've basically got two friends and then one of the friend's siblings involved in this case. So we'll go through, first of all, the children involved, and then we'll give a little bit of a background on the two girls that went missing. So best friends and next door neighbours, Marianne Schmidt and Christine Sharrock, they decided on this particular day, it was the 11th of January 1965, to travel from their home in West Ryde to Cronulla Beach by train. Again, something they'd done literally a few days before. I think the 5th of January they'd done it before.
The 1st of January they'd done it.
1st of January, was it?
Yeah, 1st, yeah.
So really not uncommon at all. Marianne Schmidt was 15 years of age. Christine Sharrock was also 15. Then Marianne's she had 6 siblings, but 4 of the younger siblings went with them to the beach. So there was Peter Schmidt. He was aged 11. There's notes of him being 13 in the media.
This is again. So Peter was 10. That's definitive.
Oh, okay.
So the next one is Hans, who was not with them.
Yeah.
He was about 13.
Okay.
And then the older one again, Helmut.
Yeah.
Junior. He
17, I think.
18, 19.
Yeah.
See,
again, it's really hard to see.
Yes, the two who didn't go on the trip with them, their ages are not confirmed. Like it's real sketchy what age they were. Whereas the 4 that did go with her, I found more consistently being aged at, Peter 10, Trixie was 9, Wolfgang 8, and Norbert 6.
Okay.
Is that how you had it?
I had Norbert as 5. But
oh, wow. So I reckon on 6 I pretty much had everywhere.
Yeah,
okay. So, this is the stuff we're talking about, people.
So in terms of the family background, so as you said, Helmut Schmidt Sr., so their father, he had actually passed away the year before, just absolutely tragic. He died on the 15th of June in 1964 from Hodgkin's disease, which is like a lymphoma, a cancer of the lymph glands.
Yeah.
He'd been working as a carpenter, and I think once he developed the disease, they actually needed to move into some assisted, like council-assisted housing, which is what took them to West Ryde, into the house that they ended up living next door to Christine's family, to the Sharrock family. We'll talk about their situation in a second. Now, the Schmidt family emigrated to Australia from West Germany. So they came over around the same time as the 10-pound poms.
Yeah.
And there was a massive influx of immigrants coming into Australia at the time. They arrived here. They actually arrived in Melbourne in September of 1958. Then they moved to a migrant hostel in Unanderra in New South Wales before they moved and settled in another little town.
Yeah.
And they lived in that little town until Helmut Sr. developed lymphoma and had to move closer to the hospital for treatment. So that's when they moved into West Ryde.
Yeah.
The household was massive. As in, when I say massive, I mean the number of children was, I think it was
7 kids
typical of the time.
Yeah.
All of the children, except for Norbert, were all born in Germany before they emigrated to Australia, and Norbert was the only one born here.
Right.
So first generation Australian. And so he was born the year after they moved, so he was born in 1959. By 1965, so we've obviously had Helmut Sr. pass away, but Mrs. Schmidt her name was Elizabeth, I think. Elsbeth in some places and Elizabeth in other places.
Probably gets kind of Australianised and people would probably just call her Elizabeth. Maybe. Yeah.
So she was actually hospitalised all I can find is that she had a major operation. It was something so significant that it kept her in hospital for a very long time, for weeks, I believe.
Yeah.
So in the lead up to this day, to the 11th of January, Helmut Jr., so the 17, 18, 19-year-old.
Yep.
And Marianne, the two oldest children of the household.
Marianne being 15.
But they were taking care of their younger siblings while their mum was in hospital undergoing this massive surgery. And Helmut Jr., he had actually left school by this time and was working. Was he doing an apprenticeship?
I feel like he was doing mechanics or something like that.
I feel like that's right. That sounds right. But he was also then taking care of his younger siblings along with Marianne.
I dare say, like, financially supporting the family too.
I believe he was.
Yeah,
I think Elizabeth did work.
Yes.
But, the fact that she was out
she's
of work
unwell
and
too.
Whatever was going on with her was obviously quite significant.
Yeah.
So this is school holidays, I believe, at the time. Yeah, it would
Summer
have been.
school holidays, yeah.
And so the two best friends, so we've got Marianne and Christine, were deciding what to do with the kids. And I think they'd kind of assumed responsibility for them.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the fuck are we going to do with these children? We've got to do something.
Yeah.
So what they decided to do on this, well, apparently they were going to go the day before, but the weather was terrible.
Weather was terrible, yeah.
And so, but the kids were like, oh, please, let's go. And then even on the 11th, the weather was pretty shocking.
Wasn't
very
great still.
windy
and
overcast, warm because it was still summer.
Yeah.
But overcast and just not really beach weather. But they decided they'd go down, and there's rock pools and all of that kind of thing in Cronulla that they can go and, like, down the other end of the beach, that they could go and explore if it wasn't really appropriate to be going into the ocean. It was something to do for the day.
For sure.
It's like a 1-hour train ride, I believe. They had to change trains at a certain train station to get there.
They'd done it a few times with actually Marianne's father when he was alive and things. So he'd actually shown them how to do it, and that it was fairly easy. It was very, as you say, to change trains, I believe. It was a pretty straightforward change platform. They knew what to do. Marianne knew exactly how to get there, and Christine as well. So, should we give some context a bit to Christine as well and her background and how she sort of came to living next door?
I think so.
Because the two of them did become like inseparable in a very short space of time, which I think it's fantastic they had each other for the context of their family lives, what was going on for each of these girls. You can really understand why they bonded so quickly.
100%.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously Marion with, losing her father and having, lots of siblings that she's taking care of there, that's a whole lot for a teenage girl. But then Christine is next door, then she moves in, which is amazing that she can have this bond. Now, Christine, though, her father passed away as well. So they've got that connection over that simply as well. But he passed away when she was quite young, which was really tragic.
Toddler. Yeah, 1953 he passed away.
Yeah, so he passed away, but in after that time, her mum did meet someone else and did remarry. Now, for some reason, and we don't really get context on this at all, Christine made the choice that she did not want to be part of this melded family kind of situation of moving in with stepdad and her mum. So she had a very close relationship with her grandparents.
I believe at the time her mum and stepdad did move really far away, so it would have meant she would have had to change schools.
That's right. I remember reading that, not wanting to change schools. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, so it was kind of this, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, which is fair. So, yeah, to keep, I think, some normality in her life and stay in the same school. And she had a very close relationship with her grandparents. They were very willing to have her and very much loved her. So they said, well, come and move in with us. So she moved in with her grandparents, and that was who lived next door then to the Schmidt family. Yep. So, she lived there. I don't believe Marion and Christine went to the same school. They went to different schools.
Yep.
But it meant that I think that's what's so great about the friendship too, that they kind of went off to school each day separately, but then these school holidays and times like that, they would just spend every waking moment together.
Yeah, they'd like play music in each other's bedrooms and just like have a really great time, like really good girlfriends.
Yeah. So they were really tight. So literally come home from school and they'd, bond to each other and like hang out, and then school holidays big time. So I think it was a really great for Marion to have that support, we're looking after so many younger siblings, to have this girlfriend with her, to do it with her, to make it a little bit less like being a mum, a little bit more like having fun at the same time. So trying to balance, between being a teenager but having responsibilities too.
That's
so
it.
I think they really give some great context to what sort of comes from here.
Yeah.
So because the other thing to sort of know that after all of this, people did get access to the girls' diaries, which, I mean, God, mortifying.
Oh, my God, I know.
I don't even like pulling them out now.
I know.
It's like
you're reading
oh, my God, what the hell?
What is wrong with me?
So with reading these diaries, though, they were able to get some understanding around, I guess, the more private life of these two girls, of what sorts of things were going on for the two of them at this stage.
Yeah.
So on the 1st of January, we said earlier, they had gone to Cronulla Beach on a day out on the beach. I think they took the kids that day as well.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
Yeah, so, I mean, this wasn't something, as we said, it's not unusual for them to do. However, on that particular day, they had met some boys.
Woo-hoo.
And they'd actually kissed them too.
Ooh.
And I bet that was a bit of a big deal. Like,
God, yeah, it would have been.
Yeah. So, I mean, as I say, they're balancing being 15-year-old teenage girls with the responsibility of having younger siblings with them too, and going out on these days and having some time for themselves and having some little bit of a, experiment with things. But, they were obviously good girls who could manage these kids as well, and obviously they were great, well-behaved kids for them by the sounds of things too.
Honestly, I really think they were. The younger siblings were just happy to be there, and I think they were really well-behaved, these young kids. It comes into the story in a minute
for
too.
sure, yeah.
So I guess we come to the day now where they decide to go down to Cronulla on the 11th of Jan.
Yeah.
And as any good responsible person who's taking a bunch of kids somewhere does, Marianne and Christine decided to pack some snacks. So they packed some rolls, I think, or sandwiches, some fruit and some other little bits and pieces, packed everything up, got the kids onto the train and down to Cronulla.
Oh, God, I just have this visual of trying to like lug shit to the beach with kids.
I know. Ugh. And they would have, I bet you they would have just taken it all in their stride.
They would have,
when you're 15, you don't care about.
They didn't have the Kmart trolley thing.
Oh, God, no. That doesn't actually pull on sand. Anyway. So they've done everything to prepare really well for an afternoon at the beach. And I think they arrived at the beach somewhere around 12:30.
Yeah.
And when they get to the beach, they notice that the beach is closed. And the reason is because the winds, it was like, it was over 100k winds or something.
Jesus.
I've got it written down somewhere when I get to that part in the story specifically. But it was extremely windy.
Yes.
And again, Cronulla Beach at the time was very different to what it is now, the landscape of it. It's, now it was mined, all of the sand has actually been mined out there. So the beach is quite flat now.
Yeah.
But back in the day, there were lots and lots of sand dunes. They had lots of reeds that were sort of growing out of the dunes. And there was lots of places for people to kind of shelter and hide. And that particular end of Cronulla Beach did attract a bit of a subculture of people.
Yeah.
So it was a known gay beat.
Yeah.
And also there were people who, homeless people, or people without housing who would go down there and stay down in that part of the beach because there was enough space apparently to shelter in the dunes.
Yeah.
There was also like a bit of a drug subculture down there. So people were sort of, dealing, and if you wanted something, you kind of knew that that's where you could go to get it.
There was also just some people who were just like using parts of the beach, like becoming sort of nudist beach as well, like starting to, like, because we're in the 60s, and getting into that kind of hippie side, and like people just being free and going and go nude on the beach.
I could not think of anything.
God, no.
I hate being at the beach in my bathers.
Yeah. I'll never forget my dad taking me accidentally to a nude beach.
Seriously?
Yeah. It was just the two of us.
Accidentally.
No,
I'm
I'm
joking,
shit on him
of course
so much over it. But one day we just I think it was just the two of us. He said that, like, let's us go to the beach. He's like, oh, I know this great little beach we'll go to. But since he'd been there last, and then
turns out
become a nudist beach, and we rocked on the beach, we just put our towels down, everything, and went in for a swim, and then the next thing he didn't even notice for ages. I was only fairly little too. And until my dad kind of went, hey, wait, there's a few. More than just one. Maybe I shouldn't have brought my daughter here.
A few too many penises dangling in the breeze.
Just, one, two. I love it. You didn't even notice for ages.
I love it. Oh, that's gold. I love it. Okay, so we're down they're all down at the beach. The beach is closed. They're like, what are we going to do? They went and had walk down to the end of the beach where they knew there were rock pools. Mm-hmm. And had a bit of a splash around in the shallows.
Well, Wolfgang was very, very keen to get in the water. He wanted to go for a swim.
I think he kind of went up to his waist.
Yeah, they just went
maybe? Paddling more so.
But I think he was really hassling Marianne about it. And so eventually she just caved in and went, right, fine. You guys go sit down over there and whatever, and I'll take him out for a bit of a swim and get him to shut up. Yeah. Brothers. Oh, tell me about it.
But it got to a point where I think Norbert in particular, he was only 4 or 5 years old at the time, 4, 5, 6.
6.
At the time. And he was kind of getting, I think all the kids were actually. The sand was whipping up against their legs. I've been to the beach when that's happened.
When that
it's
happens.
So unpleasant. It's
is
horrible.
On the back of your legs.
Yeah, it's like sand. We're having your legs sandblasted.
Yes.
So the girls decide to kind of get the kids to shelter in the dunes. So they take them all back, take them to shelter behind in a dune. Apparently, according to Peter, one of the brothers who was there, and he has a really decent account. He was the oldest one that was sort of, aside from Marianne, who was there. He has a pretty solid and decent account. He's still alive to this day and has done interviews up until fairly recently about what happened on the day. And his account was, everyone was a little bit over it. The sand was really annoying. And so Marianne and Christine decided to shelter them in the dunes. And from what his account is, where they were sheltered was it was almost like they were in a cave.
It stopped. The wind was
hollow.
Stopped. Yeah. When they found a spot behind the there's sort of 2 rows almost of sand dunes, and to get in between those, you basically get complete shelter from the wind whipping around. So much more pleasant spot to be.
Yeah. He says that at the time, the kid, Marianne and Christine were quite giddy. He talks about them being laughing and giggling together and being excited about something. And it gets to the point where they basically say to the 4 younger kids, all right, you guys wait here. So they were in the dune at the time. They had their little snacks and all of that kind of thing.
Just before that, where they go, Christine goes off on her own.
Yes, sorry, I forgot about that bit.
Yeah, so she goes on, I can't remember exactly for how long or anything, but I think it was Wolfgang who brought this to people's attention, that she disappeared for a extended period of time. It wasn't just a couple of minutes.
No.
And it was when she came back that's when Marianne and Christine sort of said to the kids, you guys wait here. we're going to go and do something.
But we'll be back in a few minutes.
We'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't like they were sort of saying, stay here for an hour on your own.
Yeah.
Like they were just kind of going, we're just going to go do something. We'll
I
be
think
back.
I think they might have said we'll be 20 minutes or
Yeah.
something, because Peter's memory of it is like, being however old he was, 10 or whatever. He's like, 20 minutes, that seems like such a long time to wait here.
Yeah.
But they did. They were really good.
I think they were getting over it. They were kind of wanting to go home almost then.
Yeah,
Like they
so
were.
it was like 1:30-ish at this stage, I think, by the time they were sort of left by the girls. I mean, again, really hard to get exact timelines.
Yes.
But it was roughly 1:30 at the time. So the last that Peter and the other kids see of them is them walking over the back of the sand dune. So they're walking sort of away from the beach.
Yeah.
And giggling and sort of running off.
Mm.
Now, what do you think when you hear that?
Yeah, it's interesting, and I think you think it's 15-year-old girls, like
They'd met boys at the beach a couple of weeks or a week or so before.
yeah,
What, like, to me, they're like, okay, they're going to meet those boys again, or try and find the boys
or
again.
just try and find boys in general,
yeah.
they're boy smitten girls.
Yeah.
They're at that age where they're like intrigued by boys, and let's see if we can either find some different ones, or are they sort of fairly sure that those same ones might be here again, which that's understandable.
Peter says he asked them where they were going, and they said, we're going mad.
Oh, that's so funny.
So he's like, I didn't even know what that meant.
No.
So they, the four kids just kind of sat there.
Yeah.
And sat there.
They did see, I believe it was Wolfgang again. He saw a particular boy who went behind the dunes in a similar direction to where the girls had gone.
Yep.
And he then, not too long after the girls went, saw him reappear in the same way back again. He gives a description of him that we can go through later.
Yeah.
But there was someone that he did see. A boy of a similar age to the girls. He sort of said probably around 16-ish.
Same age as my older brother.
Yeah, maybe 16, 17. So maybe a smidge older than the girls, but, within an age bracket. So he seemed to think that he went in the same direction, didn't see them interact, but then reappeared and came back out, and again, hard to know exactly how long, but I think he sort of inferred sort of 20, 30 minutes later, he saw him reappear and walk back down the beach. Mm. The only other person that they had sort of seen around the area as well was another boy, probably similar age again to the girls, who was crabbing on the rocks. So, yeah, that's all that he could describe of other people that were around.
Yeah.
But that was the last that they saw of Marion and Christine.
So the kids actually stayed until about 5 o'clock in those dunes, waiting for the girls to come back. And then, look, I feel for Peter, because them being the next eldest, he's had to decide
10,
what to do.
maybe 11.
Yeah. He's had to decide what to do. So he's like, well, by 5 o'clock, he said everyone was hungry, cold, tired.
Yeah.
And they were worried. Like they didn't know what to do. And because they'd been told to stay there, it was a big deal for him to make the decision to leave.
Not stay there, yeah.
So basically what he did was he gathered his other 3 younger siblings, and they ended up...
And all their belongings too. He got all their things.
He packed everything up and was carrying everything. Oh, God, breaks my heart.
Oh, totally.
And they were sort of wandering towards what I think they thought was the train station, but it ended up... They were basically on the main street. And they ended up being spotted by a man named John. So he was just a member of the public who was walking past going, oh, those kids seem very young and lost.
Yeah.
And a couple of them were crying, and he's like, I need to check and see if they're okay. So he does exactly that. And he said he couldn't actually get a story from them. They weren't able to really articulate what had happened.
Well, I guess they didn't know.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
So he ended up taking them straight away down to the Cronulla police station. Now, while they were there at the police station, obviously the police are like, these 2 teenage girls are just irresponsible. They've left their
kids and they've gone home.
They've gone home. So they call the house, so as in the Schmidt family home, and they speak to Helmut Jr., and they say to him, you've got to come and pick your siblings up. Like, you know, they say their sister's gone missing or hasn't come back to pick them up, you've got to come and pick them up. So he does that. He jumps on a train. He comes down to Cronulla Police Station, picks up his 3 younger siblings and takes them back. Now, again, I can't believe the level of responsibility that's falling on a 17, 18, 19-year-old's shoulders at this point. Because he spends that night worried as anything, worried sick. He does go next door to tell John and Jeanette Tague, who's Christine's grandparents. He does go next door to say, look, this is what my siblings are saying. They're saying the girls left them and we don't know where they are. I haven't heard from Marianne. Have you heard from Christine? Like, he did try. That was about as far as he got until the next morning when the grandparents and Helmut Jr. decided to report them missing to the police.
He had also been in that afternoon, like not long, like before he got the phone call, he'd been to the hospital to visit their mum. And she had said, oh, how'd they all go at the beach today? To which Helmut's responded was, oh, they're not back yet, actually. Like, and he was already a bit like, weird. Oddly, they're not back yet. But I mean, and we're talking at this point, he's probably around that 5 p.m.-ish when the kids are actually packing themselves up at the beach and heading off, where he's already registering of like, I would have expected them to be home before now. But they weren't. So he wasn't at that point stressed because in his mind, they're all together. So they'll all come home when they get home. And we're talking summer in Australia, which means it's not going to get dark until 8, 9 p.m.
I was going to say daylight savings.
You know, you're not home before the street lights come on, which, you know, you're talking 9:30. So he wasn't stressing, but he was a bit like, they're not actually home yet. And which his mum had responded to him in the hospital sort of going, oh, well, that's unlike Marion and Christine. So, check on them when you get back. So when you get home, like maybe just look into that. But so no one's panicking early. But you just say the next morning.
Well,
it's
I think when they didn't come home that night.
At all.
So in an interview I saw with Peter, he said that his brother didn't, and they didn't sleep that night.
No.
They were just so worried because the wind was so bad as well. It was howling, an absolute gale. It was 70 knot winds or something like that, or 74 kilometre an hour winds.
And I don't believe they had access to a car, like at all.
They didn't.
So therefore they're not kind of able to go driving the streets looking for them. And at that point in the evening, I'm guessing it's about 8 p.m. The kids finally get back to the home with Peter, with Helmut. That at 8 p.m. at night, you're probably at this era going, well, the police station will be closed. Right? There's probably only someone on the beat overnight and that's probably it. So there's no one at a police station. So we're going to have to wait till the morning to go and report anything. It's a very, that would be really awful. Going, there's nothing we can do right now other than wait and see what we can do tomorrow.
And hope they come home or turn up or something.
Which and two, I guess they're in the era as well. You're not thinking the worst. You're just wondering where they are. Maybe.
I don't know what you would think at that time because, I mean, our minds immediately go to...
Oh, I'd be like, fuck.
absolutely. But back then, people being kidnapped wasn't a thing in Australia at that time.
No.
So, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
It would have been horrific.
Absolutely.
The next morning, though, to Helmut and... Christine's grandparents' credit, of course, they as soon as day broke, they rang Cronulla Police Station and reported the girls missing, and the police were on it straight away. So I know in a lot of these older cases, especially when teenagers go missing, they often say, oh, we've got to wait the 48 hours and all of that. But they didn't actually do that in this case. No. I mean, I think they understood, especially from Christine's grandparents, that this was incredibly out of character for her. She was a really responsible girl. And they decided to conduct a search of the beach straight away. I think it was around 7:30 that they started
Pretty
searching.
Early in the morning.
It was very early in the morning, and there were lots of volunteers. So there were local surf lifesavers who were happy to help do the search, and then local police as well. There were just other like community volunteers. I don't even know how they would have found out
Rallied
about
them
it,
by
but
that
rallied
point,
them. But there were quite a lot of people. Unfortunately, at about 8:30 in the morning, a local resident and I think he had 2 nephews with him.
Okay.
They were doing a walk along the beach. They discovered, first of all, what they actually found was a foot that was sticking out of the sand.
He thought it was a mannequin.
And so he kind of went over to it and he saw then a head, and he said as soon as he put his hand on the head, he's like, oh, that's a real person. Like, that's real skin, and raised the alarm.
Yeah.
Now, they didn't know at that time that there were actually 2 bodies in situ at that site.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, when the police came over and found this, they've cordoned off the area.
Very soon, though, the police noticed that there wasn't 1 foot, there was 3. And that was when they realised immediately there was 2 bodies, which they connected the dots very quickly of kind of going, oh, wow, we think we might have found those missing girls.
Now,
so, yeah.
they sort of say the bodies weren't necessarily buried.
No.
They think that because there was such a sandstorm overnight that they were kind of, the sand had blown over their bodies.
Probably the person put a bit of sand on them, like kind of thing, but then the wind's done the rest.
Super bury them.
And that's why there was body parts still able to be seen and visible. Yeah.
I think because the wind was so severe that night, it also meant that a lot of evidence was blown away. Like there weren't footprints that they could look into or anything like that.
There was a little bit of physical evidence in that what they were able to decipher from the scene was that there was a 38-metre drag of that they could see.
I read it was 100 metres.
Oh no, I read in multiple places 38 metres. That 38 metres of that Marian's body.
Okay,
no, Christine's.
It was Christine's.
Christine's. Sorry,
it was Christine's.
Christine's body had been dragged along from further away. So there was this inference that potentially Marian had been attacked maybe first, and Christine had managed to get away, but then had been captured and killed, unfortunately, because on the drag back there was actually pools of blood about every few 3 to 5 metres. There was a bigger pool of blood, sort of insinuating that the person maybe wasn't that strong, because Christine was quite a petite little person, that this person in dragging her back would then stop every few metres, have a break, and then drag her again all the way back to where Marian's body was.
I mean, she was little.
Yeah.
But then dragging anything through the sand's
through
really
the sand's hard work. Yes. Yeah. So that was evidence of that. You could they could make some assumptions around what had taken place in that murder scene.
Yeah.
But beyond that, there wasn't a lot more.
Well, no.
Evidence.
And if you think back to 1965 and how forensics were back in the time, like it was very primitive.
Yeah.
And I guess they were relying on like blood typing, any fingerprints they could find on the bodies, any like visual things like crime scene photography, as in what they could see to form some evidence to try and get a picture of what had happened. And as you said, they found drag marks. There was not much else they could really
and then you're
do.
relying on witness statements to like put together what had happened here, which, as we said, you've got 4 young siblings who saw minimal.
Not much.
And then the few people that they've identified in those witness statements, which we can sort of go through like a bit more detail of what that was.
Yeah.
But you basically with the level of policing that you've got at this point, DNA isn't a thing, and all these sorts of stuff that you're looking for fibres, and then plus you're adding to that the beach alone anyway, the fact that you've got a crime scene on sand and out in the open. We all know that makes it even harder just in general, just anywhere out in the elements. But on the beach, I mean, God, they did sift through tons, like thousands of tons of
photos
sand.
of how they were doing that.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
incredible. Like
totally.
They really did what they should have been
Absolutely.
doing. So they basically got giant front loaders, picked up buckets of sand. They had these huge sieves that they were sifting the sand through, and they did that for like hundreds and hundreds of meters.
Yeah,
it would have taken forever. But then, how do you also then know? It's obviously incredibly inexact. Like they're not.
I mean, because you can only assume, like, kind of go, oh, we found a ring, let's say, and like go, okay, well, like, could that be owned by someone?
The perpetrator.
Yeah, like, is that a perpetrator, or is that just someone who's been on the beach in the last 10 years?
Yeah.
I mean,
and they did find all manner of things. Apparently they found like
everyone would be going, oh, when you find my ring that I lost.
Yeah. They found so much stuff that was buried in, that people have lost in the sand over all that time.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, dear. So they've obviously cordoned off the space. They've been doing all of these things in terms of like sifting through the sand and trying to get an idea of exactly what had happened.
I guess we should sort of say too, so the biggest thing I guess they did find was obviously with the bodies that it was an incredibly brutal attack. So the girls had suffered in this attack. So Marian's throat had been cut. And this is where they say they reckon that she was attacked first and that had occurred, and Christine had potentially then seen that and run. So then that this person, whoever this perpetrator is, and whether there's one or more, have then chased her down, and then she was stabbed, I think, 6 times, 6 or 7 times, as well. So, yeah, a very brutal attack of these poor young girls.
Like, was almost decapitated.
That's right. She was hit in the head too, wasn't she? Yeah.
Yeah, she was. She was hit in the head with a blunt force.
Yes.
A blunt force. But it was the fact that she was almost decapitated. But because of the nature of where the crime happened, a lot of her blood had just sunk into the sand. And so even that was hard to try and get, like, time of death and all of that sort of thing in relation to how much blood there was, or which injury occurred first. Like, they think that she was incapacitated by a knock to the head, and then it was obviously the severing of her throat and neck, honestly, that killed her. But then timing of that's interesting, because did she sustain the blow to the head? Christine's seen that, run away, then she's died first, and then he's come back, and he or them or they have come back, and we know they're men because there was some semen found at the scene. We'll talk about that in one sec, but have come back and then finished Marianne off, like finished in terms of the decapitation, almost. Yeah,
there's really sort of
decapitation. Like, there's lots of theories as to timing of it, but there's no irrefutable evidence. Like, it's really hard to understand.
Yeah.
When the autopsies were done, they did find that there were attempted rapes on both of the girls.
Yeah.
So I think what that meant was that there was no sign of trauma to the girls in that way. However, semen was found on the outside of both of them,
which is interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah. And they were able to keep the item of clothing. So I think it was Marianne's underwear had semen on it, and they were able to keep that as evidence.
Yes.
For what they thought, maybe at some point may be able to be used.
They even acknowledged back then that, they knew that, like, having that sample was not something they had the scientific ability to use at that point in time, but also already had the forethought of
what if in the future
we could. So they were very careful at the time in storing that and keeping that. Yeah.
The best summer memories are made outside, and LL Bean has the clothing and gear you need to make these memories. Their effortless styles are created for summer spent outside with family and friends. Like hand-sewn boat shoes, coastal cotton sweaters, rugged polos, and, of course, the iconic boat and tote, which has been made right here in Maine since 1944. LL Bean. Be an outsider. Visit llbean.com to learn more.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
That's right.
Yeah.
The police started by interviewing the 4 younger children and the 2 other siblings, the 2 other boys, the Schmidt boys. They obviously interviewed Christine's grandparents. By the end of this, they interviewed something like 7,000 people.
Yeah. When you think
that was by April 1966. That was in the first 3 months.
Yeah.
To this day, they
that was just over a year.
Was it just? It was. Sorry, yeah. You're absolutely right. But to this day, they've interviewed over 16,000 people,
which is crazy. In that, you think, like we were saying, there was the 4 kids, obviously, that were there on the day, and the very few people that they saw. But there's so many people that see you on a day, out and about, and may have something in that could give a clue as to what might happen later.
And I think because so many people were shocked by this.
Oh, yeah.
And it really changed the innocence of life in Australia. It really was a catalyst. And then obviously the Beaumont children, that cemented it.
Yeah.
But it really changed. So people were wanting to report anything and everything they'd seen because they wanted these people to be caught. They didn't want this to happen to their children. They wanted their children to be able to be still dropped off at the beach and have a nice day and all of that sort of stuff.
Yep.
So in the end, the case file is 80 volumes and over 10,000 pages.
Now, and the thing is, none of this is computerized.
Nope.
None of this is this is literally notes being taken separately. Like how to sift through that as a police officer and connect dots to kind of go, hey, that person said X and that person also said X or refuted that, or you know what I mean? How on earth?
You can't.
You can't.
And that's the thing with this case as well. It's almost like there was too much information and they couldn't corroborate things. They couldn't cross-check things or cross-reference witness statements because, yes, you're right, they didn't have computer systems and it's just an insurmountable amount of information for any one person to be able to retain, to be able to manually do that. It's really, really hard. Just quickly as well, getting back to the autopsies of the girls, what they found in Christine's autopsy was that she had some digested food in her system, whereas Marianne didn't. She had no food in her system, so she hadn't eaten whatever it was that they'd brought to the beach. Christine had the remnants of what they think might have been a Chico roll in her stomach.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Now, I love a Chico roll. If I was down at I love it.
Really? I'm not into them. But I know they're very much an Australian tradition.
Yeah. I love a Chico roll. The pastry, the chewiness of it. Oh, just absolutely love them. So Christine, great choice for a snack. But basically what they think happened was in that time that Wolfgang described as Christine going away for a bit, where did she go? Did she go to the canteen? She must have, because she had food in her system.
Or did she meet someone who gave her that?
To her?
Or
they just don't know. Christine did have money.
Yes,
on her,
but she still had it on her.
And she still had most of it on her. I don't know that they were able to fully account for all of the money.
Okay.
Whereas Marianne had all of her money minus their bus. That she had
minus
enough,
the bus fares, wasn't it? Yeah.
And she also had, or their train fares. She also had the return tickets, and they were all still, where they needed to be. So yeah.
Oh,
where do you
awful.
Go with this?
Oh, absolutely.
A police statement. I think they had to
rely on the kids, which is, I mean, gosh, that's awful in terms of their ages, and that's, that they're they're key to this.
And to be honest, it was really tough because English wasn't the first language for any of these children.
Absolutely.
Even Norbert, who was born in Australia.
Yes.
He grew up in a German-speaking household. So English wasn't, especially for the younger kids, wasn't fluent.
And then there's also just the fact of their age and their interpretation of things compared to an adult's interpretation.
100%.
For example, when Wolfgang says that he spotted this young boy coming out of the dunes, and he described him as someone who wasn't shaved. Mm-hmm. Now, again, English not his first language, but also what does that mean?
He was shaved.
Was shaved? Mm-hmm. Now, does that mean that he had stubble, or does that mean that he was a very young boy without any facial hair, coming through?
And that's the thing. And they didn't know to ask him that question.
No, they made an assumption on him saying that he was young, that he was a very young boy. But they later on, with rereading his statement, people have kind of gone, well, hang on. Could that be interpreted as being someone who wasn't shaved, as in had a beard, right? Or that he had stubble that was there, so it made him think of shaving.
It could be interpreted both ways, and that's the problem.
So it becomes the way that they've interpreted it at the time becomes null and void of who you're looking for.
Yeah. He also said that teenager was carrying a homemade spear gun. Then in another statement, he said it was a fishing knife.
Yeah.
And then in another statement, he said it was both.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, he's seen something. I'm not denying that at all.
But the kid was 9.
He was 9, and memories are fallible at the best of times.
Yeah.
He was obviously in a very traumatic situation at the time. His mum wasn't around. Even at this point when they found her body, she was still in hospital.
Yeah.
Found the girls' bodies. She was still in hospital.
Yeah.
She was still in from what I gather, quite a bad way.
Yeah, she still wasn't able to then kind of go, oh, look, I'm home. I'm going to get out of here tomorrow because I need to be in on this and doing whatever I can do. No, she wasn't able to be, even there for her kids who were grieving, and they're all grieving, and they're not even able to be together necessarily for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so hard.
So hard.
So this boy that Wolfgang described that he saw around the dunes, later it's sort of been dubbed the surfer boy.
Yep.
So it doesn't help a lot in that I guess we're getting a stereotype kind of like.
Well, you say to me surfer boy, I'm thinking bronzed, blonde hair, probably not wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
You know, you've got an idea in your mind of what that might be.
But there was some other sort of conflicting things, information he gave of this witness that didn't sort of fit exactly to what you would immediately think of.
Totally.
So he was described as sort of being tubby, sort of a bigger boy, he sort of said. And whether he meant bigger, whether he meant age, or whether as in bigger than me and bigger, or he meant that he was a bit overweight, or what does that mean?
Yeah.
It's so difficult to...
I think he did use the word tubby.
Yeah.
I think he did. But then... By this is the problem though, because by this time the media had already reported that a surfer boy was seen. No other context, right?
Yeah.
Then they get more context around. Oh, here's the word context again, Joe. Then they get more information around it, and they're like, and then they start reporting that there was a tubby boy, and then so people are like, oh, was that two different people?
Yeah.
Was that the
Are we
same
talking about
person?
two people now, or
like, what's going on? And so there was a lot of information that kind of got really muddled. It really did. And the media were doing their best. I mean, they wanted to help by getting the information out to the public so that the public could then provide useful information back to the police.
Yeah.
But, yeah, things were getting lost all the way from
definitely.
this time. There was a very bizarre account of somebody who this person was reported by multiple people as being on the beach, and they describe him as the corrugated iron man. Have you heard of this guy?
I haven't heard of this one. What's this?
So this guy was quite well known down at Cronulla. You know, every suburb has its people, and they're well known to everyone. Well, this guy was quite well known, and somebody they people just would look at and go, oh yeah, there's that guy again.
Yeah, right.
So he was definitely investigated as a potential perpetrator because he was very odd, and he was one of these people that kind of hung around with that crowd that I was saying to you down the other end of the beach. Like possibly, I'm assuming, judging by all of this, he probably had some mental illnesses that were untreated,
potentially living homeless or something on the beach there or
possibly.
something. Yep.
So he would actually wear this homemade corrugated iron mask on the beach often. He would also then take adult magazines and like try and show them to young kids, that kind of thing. Like, so he was a pest, an absolute pest. He wouldn't wear a hat or sunnies. It was just this corrugated iron thing that he made.
So was that just sort of like to protect himself from sun or something?
I think so.
God, last sort of, I don't know, material I would use to protect me from the sun probably.
Yeah, but you know, different strokes. You know how it be?
Yeah. Got it.
So that was just like one of the people that there were lots of these types of people who hung around in that area, and he was just one of the people police investigated and were able to eliminate. Not quite sure how they eliminated him, but turned out he was eliminated. I guess they get to a point where they're like, all right, well, we've done all of these investigations. We've done all of these interviews. We've asked for lots of people to bring their stories to us. We need to now probably have a bit of a list of suspects. Like, who do we think might have done this?
Yes.
So should we go through
a couple of different ones that we sort of come to? Yep.
We'll start with Derek Percy. Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay, so Derek Ernest Percy is probably the most terrifying of the people on this list, honestly, at the time.
At the time.
He was convicted in 1969, so a few years after this, of a horrific child murder. Like, when I looked at it, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
He was, I think psychologically, if you're looking at where he was in relation to the Wanda Beach murders, his behaviour was escalating at that time.
Yeah.
And then obviously he was then found guilty for murdering this child in 1969. He lived in Ryde, so he knew these children. I think what Ryde was quite a small little community. People kind of really did know each other, especially back in the day. Like, we think these days, like, you kind of know your neighbour to say hello, but it was people were
Different
out and
back
about
then.
more. It was very different back
Yeah.
then. Yeah, so he was staying at a house at the time that was literally a street away from Marianne and Christine, and he knew of the girls, or he admits to knowing of them.
Yes.
Witnesses recall seeing somebody who resembled his description at the beach on the day. So he was fair, thin-faced, quite lanky. They know, based on ticket stubs, that he travelled on the train to Cronulla that day.
Yes.
So they found evidence of the fact that he'd gone from West Ryde to Cronulla on that day at a similar time, not on the same train. They don't think. He was possibly following them if this panned out the way they think it did.
Yeah, yeah. As in following them, not like on the same train, like following them from like a train later, like kind of
Correct.
stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the lead up to this, though, he was already starting to steal clothing. He was a peeping Tom, like clothing from, what do you call it? Hills hoists.
Yeah.
From clotheslines.
Yes.
Underwear. He was a peeping Tom. Now, we all know that this is part of the escalation of behaviour that leads to sexual predators, if nothing else. I mean, it already is part of that.
Yeah.
He also was mutilating dolls and other toys initially when he was younger with razor blades and that kind of thing. And I believe that then progressed to violence against animals. Okay.
Well, yeah.
His journals were found by police and they had detailed and very graphic descriptions of him mutilating and torturing young women.
It's not looking good.
It really doesn't, does
No.
it? If he did commit these murders, it would have been his first. The police believe it would have been. They would have been his first murders that then obviously continued on to what he was eventually tried for and convicted of. But there were, there were 4 other murders of young, and I'm talking young children, the youngest being 3 years of age, that he was potentially involved in over that time.
Yep. Oh, God.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they weren't able to make any direct evidence connections with him and the case. So he was never charged.
No.
The little forensic evidence that they had at the scene, again, no connections with him. Yeah. Unfortunately.
So he was also, in 1970, so the year after he was convicted for that for the murder.
Yeah.
He was actually detained and he was basically declared insane.
Yeah.
He was Victoria's longest serving prisoner at the time of 43 years and with no hope of getting out. He was questioned in relation to this, of course, and they actually tried to get a deathbed confession from him. He died in, was it 2013, he died. And the police knew that this was coming up, and there were other unsolved cases and unsolved murders that they thought he might have been linked to, so they go to see. All he said was, I can't remember. So, unfortunately.
absolute
But then
piece of
having
shit
said
he
that,
was.
the degraded blood that was found at the scene, which was obviously exposed to the elements and all of that, that's never been able to be used to either say yay or nay either way in this case.
No, at this point in time, that was all the probably forensic sort of evidence they had to sort of link
And
anyone.
the semen, but they couldn't really do with anything with that at the time.
At the time, yep.
Okay.
So another person that was potentially linked to this was John Norman Ainsworth. He was another violent sex offender. He did live local. He was known to the police, very much so. And the police did focus on him for a number of years. They were kind of really thinking he was it.
Yeah.
But again, they could not actually place him at Wanda Beach, whereas in comparison to like Derek,
Yeah.
where they could find that there was ticket stubs that like linked him to being in the area, there was nothing to say that placed him anywhere near Wanda Beach. As much as he was a local, he wasn't in that area on the day. He kind of had some corroboration to his story of events on the day that people placed him away from Wanda Beach.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually they did actually eliminate him from being looked at.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else who's been linked to this as a potential suspect is Ivan Milat. Now, the reason that people sort of go down that path is the age of like the people being younger, two females.
But also Milat was young at the time. He would have been 20.
So the age is kind of
kind of matches.
Yeah. And so he lived again in the area at the time. The remote location of the actual murders also was his MO. There were similarities in terms of the attack and the style of what went on. So
at the time, he was living in Western Sydney at the time too.
Yeah.
He was known to police because he'd already started to commit burglaries and car thefts and that kind of thing. So he did already have a bit of a rap sheet.
But that side of stuff, not like to this extent. He hadn't escalated to this yet, but maybe he did escalate earlier than we thought. A lot of people still have put some weight in this theory, but it is very speculative, and because there's nothing connecting him to being at Wanda Beach that day as well. So
it's just, I think, knowing what we know of him now, it's possible. Like, it absolutely is possible.
He is definitely someone on the list that hasn't been completely ruled out. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But do you want to get to the front runner? Front runner now.
Christopher Bernard Wilder.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I've written on here #1 suspect.
Oh, totes. I mean, he's my front runner personally.
Oh, definitely, same.
And I think majority of people who look at this case do believe that he is a front runner. Wow. What an absolute piece of shit.
I almost implore people.
Yeah.
To try and come up with reasons that he's not, because I don't think you can find them.
No, to be really honest with you, beyond, I mean, obviously you have to have solid like evidence to, arrest someone for this. And we don't have that.
And there's reasons for that, which we'll get to when we're talking about this.
Exactly. Yep. But there's so many circumstantial things that put this so in the firing line that I almost think it would be enough to go to trial on.
Yeah.
Not that he's around anymore, unfortunately. No. But for the families and for, closure on this, I think that could be possible.
Like an inquiry or like something, because, to name a person, I think I agree with you, but let's get into it.
Well, yeah, so Christopher Bernard Wilder was born on 13th of March 1945 in Sydney. Mm-hmm. Now, you may have heard this name linked to another massive case in America. Now, he was known as the beauty killer,
the snapshot killer, don't they call him?
The snapshot killer,
like
the beauty queen killer. I knew it.
I think the beauty queen killer or the snapshot killer.
Snapshot killer as well. Yeah. Well, yeah, fits.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So he was, as I say, he was born here in Australia, in Sydney. He was the eldest of 4 boys. Mm-hmm. Now, his dad though was an American naval officer. So he, as much as they lived here in Australia, he had a connection to the United States. That's is what it is. He
was a dual citizen.
That's right. So his mum was an Australian. So they were living here as a family and set up their life here. And he grew up here well into, I think his 20s before he left Australia. So he grew up in this northern Sydney beaches area,
mm-hmm.
Around this Cronulla time. That's where he was living.
Yep.
He had a very interesting childhood. He started out pretty young with his kind of attacks on people. He had very serious offences linked to him. The first major event in his life being connected to a serious crime was in 1963, where he attacked and raped a 13-year-old girl. Now, at this stage, he is 17 and the girl is 13. In 1963, first link of circumstantial evidence. 2 years later, at 19, is it coincidence the girls were 15? same age gap between with them. Yeah, Anyway, this happened in freshwater in Sydney's northern beaches. So it also happened on a beach.
Yep.
He did have 2 companions with him at the time when he committed that. He was charged and convicted of that crime. However, he was only given probation.
Well, he was tried as a juvenile.
That's
why.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, because if he had been given an actual proper sentence for that he deserved to get,
100%.
he would have been in jail and couldn't then have. Well, he wouldn't have been able to be a suspect in this. We'll put it that way because we'll keep it all alleged.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, he wouldn't be linked to this at all because he would have been in prison. So, interestingly, both of those attacks occurred on a beach. Similar aged, gap between him and the victims. Both sexual in nature.
When he was in. So he was in juvenile detention awaiting that trial, right?
Yeah.
And they gave him electroshock therapy.
Yes.
And he claimed that cured him.
Bullshit.
And that's why he couldn't have done any of these other bad things because he was cured.
Oh, well, he wasn't.
No. Turns out,
no, not even nearly. So other sort of things that could link him to this just at this point in time for him. He was a keen surfer.
Yep.
Surfer boy. He was considered fairly handsome and very charismatic. That later comes into play. But so he was often like carrying a camera with him even at this age. He would lure girls onto the beach and promise them to take photos of them. That started very young. It then led into doing that more so later. But he was even known for doing that at this point in time.
Yeah, so what he would do is he would say to these girls, "Oh my God, you are so beautiful. I work for, I can get you a modelling contract, but I'll take some photos of you. Let's go down to the beach." And he'd make them like wear bikinis and other things, and he'd take photos of them with the promise of, basically getting modelling contracts for them and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
He had a couple of really decent cameras that looked professional to these girls, and these girls were so young. He also would then get the girls that he'd been able to recruit. He would get them to recruit for him too.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein-esque, if you ask me.
Yep.
Not even allegedly. He did these things.
They could have crossed paths.
Yep. So, sorry, keep going.
Oh, so that's in that time frame of like he living in that area. I mean, he went on from that point to, oh my God. So this man, to give an understanding of what his capabilities were.
Yeah.
So he got married fairly young at about 20-ish, so not long after these murders that took place at Wanda Beach. He did get married and that ended fairly quickly, his marriage. Now, his ex-wife then has come forward and said he needs to be investigated for serious crimes. She 100% believes he's very capable of doing very violent things. She was raped in their marriage. Not that at this time, unfortunately, that was a thing. It is. So she very much is pushing for police to look at him even very early on when she left that marriage. He then left for Australia in 1969 and moved to Florida in United States and became a very affluent person. He did do photography and he made a lot of money doing it. He was very charismatic. Not a positive thing to be called. He owned a luxury waterfront home in Florida. Yes. Expensive sports cars. He did overseas travel. He was living an incredible lifestyle. People who knew him professionally were like, he's amazing. He's phenomenal. In the background of all of that, though, there were these accusations of sexual violence that was going on with people that he was working with females. He'd have models come over to his house. Now, because he had money and he was seen to have it all really. Yeah. He would ask these potential aspiring models to come over to his house and do photo shoots at his pool and all of this sort of stuff. Yeah. And that's where he would perpetrate extreme sexual violence on these women. Yeah. And he would threaten them. Yep. And in a lot of cases, we don't even know. It's untold how many women he raped. Yeah. And tortured in a lot of ways as well because he'd trap them. He'd
trapped them inside his house. He was evil.
Yeah.
Evil.
But he
Horrible,
wasn't
horrible man.
at the time being convicted and things of these
No,
that sort.
because
People
I
weren't even
think
reporting it. Like,
I
he
was
would
gonna
threaten
say,
them.
I think he put the fear of God in them. And
Yeah.
like, you know, a lot of the time these models were getting good jobs and that kind of thing, and he'd say, I'll ruin your career. This was their livelihoods. Like, and at the time, they probably thought, well, are we even going to be believed? Like, we're doing sexy photo shoots, and there was a moral sort of implication around it.
He had a whole thing going for himself.
Yeah.
But in 1982, he did come back to Australia and for a visit.
Mm-hmm.
And whilst he was here, he was involved with an incident where there was a 15-year-old girl that he had lured onto Manly Beach.
Not far away.
Nope. And he coerced her to pose nude for him for photos. And so police did arrest him for it. So I feel like, you know, like Australia were more onto him than back in America. Like, it seemed weirdly enough. But anyway, he was granted bail, unfortunately. So as much as he was being charged with that, he was granted bail. And whilst he was on bail, then he went back to America. Now, this is a really missed opportunity with this guy because he's skirted off back to America away from that, where he could have been again put in jail and then not been able to commit any more crime for a while at least. But unfortunately, he goes back to America and he immediately, basically in 1984, pretty soon after he returns, he escalates to murder.
Oh, and it is a spree of
It is
murders.
a spree.
Like
6 weeks, he just travelled thousands of kilometres across the United States, abducting women and girls, and he brutally raped them and murdered. He was
I think he murdered at least 8 that they know of.
Yeah, yep.
And he used knives. He shot some of them.
Oh, yep.
He electrocuted some of them.
Yep.
Like, he's just
evil. Really, really evil.
He was on the FBI's most wanted list. He was in one of their top 10 most wanted fugitives. And it really, there was a US-wide manhunt looking for him.
Yeah.
How embarrassing that we let him go.
I know. Absolutely. Several of the survivors actually described him as being hypnotic in his confidence and manipulation. Yeah.
On the 13th of April in 1984, though, his crime spree in the US did come to an end.
Yeah.
And it is a very fascinating way that it kind of came out. We'll definitely have to cover him.
Oh, for
at some
sure.
point.
I think so. We need to get in depth into that one.
There's a lot
so
there.
much in his crime spree there. But,
unfortunately, so the police never notified the Schmidt or Tate families of the fact that he was ever a suspect.
Right.
And they only ever found out about this when a documentary was being made about the case, like 30 years later.
You're joking.
I'm not joking.
So that's really weird, because there could have been a connection of something that someone could have gone, hey, I know
I've seen
him.
that guy. Like,
Wolfgang could have gone, yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's the surfer guy, surfer boy or whatever.
Yeah.
No, they never did that. So I think there's a lot of failings here. You know, the police did a lot of things right in this. They absolutely did. But then there were certainly key things that they didn't.
Well, yeah.
And I think this was 100% a missed opportunity. The fact that they didn't even notify the only eyewitnesses to this whole thing, those 4 young children, and even just say, oh, have you seen this man before?
Yeah, is this one
this
maybe
look familiar?
This is a photo of him from back then? Or?
Yeah, I guess the aftermath of all of this and the legacy and what's left behind is kind of where we've come to. There was, I mean, obviously the Schmidt family had already been through the tragic loss of Helmut Sr. and that would have, you know, changed the shape and scope of their lives. For Marianne to then lose her life in such a tragic and horrific way, it really destabilised their family.
Yeah.
The remaining kids, they talk about as adults now of just carrying the weight of that day for the rest of their lives. And because they think they'll never know for sure what actually happened to their sister. And it's something that they will never escape from this. They'll never, this is just something that's been with them forever and will continue to be.
Now, unfortunately, so we talked about through the case that they had this DNA potentially, like some DNA stuff.
Absolutely.
So they had the semen sample from the underwear. In later looking at the clothing, they also did find some male DNA on a piece of clothing. So there's these two bits of evidence that they do have. However, so the semen sample, the police officers, as we say, collected it, kept it, really protected it at the time to make sure that that was something that maybe in the future could be used. They got to a point where they were like, hey, let's get that out and look at it to see if we can make a match here now that we have the technology for that. And it can't be found. It's disappeared into the cosmos. So that's really shit.
They're not sure if it got lost. I don't know how it can get lost, but maybe destroyed without them knowing during when they moved premises for their evidence warehouses and whatever over time. I think there were 2 moves over that time where it could have potentially been either destroyed or somehow lost.
Yeah.
Has it gotten caught up in another exhibit and no one's just been able to find it?
They have hunted extensively for it, but it hasn't been found.
These days we'd be able to find out, we'd be able to hopefully use that sample to potentially find out who their perpetrator is.
Christopher Wilder is dead, however, and he was cremated. So that rules out being able to get DNA from him, even, exhuming a body kind of stuff. However, we have technology now where familial DNA.
There's that, but there's also evidence from other victims that they've got of his. So
yes, it could be linked that way.
They actually could be linked to other crimes.
Yeah. So there is ways of potentially still linking him to this or not, and ruling that out.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's be both sides of the fence. And there is still this one DNA sample that they haven't got. It's not a full DNA sample, is it?
No, I believe it's so degraded. I don't know that there's much they can do with it anymore.
No. So that's it. It doesn't seem to be. We sort of feel like there is a bit of a dead end to this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But for me, Christopher Wilder.
Oh, he's my front runner.
He's my front runner, allegedly.
Have you seen the video of him? I think it was on. I can't remember what it was on, but there's a video of him and he's doing a video as a dating profile.
Ew.
And this was when he'd just moved back to the States after he'd been married.
Right.
And in 1984, I think it was.
Yeah.
And this was just before he started this spree. And he talks about himself and how fantastic he is and he is so fucking smarmy.
Ugh.
Oh, he's just horrible.
Gross.
Awful.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh,
Yuck.
Just no.
The relationship between Christine's grandparents and mum and stepdad was completely broken after this.
Oh, you're joking.
I think it wasn't great to begin with from what I've seen.
Okay.
But this just completely shattered it. I think
it's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
No.
It is absolutely not their fault. Christine's grandfather, just before he passed away, he said his dying wish was essentially that answers would be found and that his wife didn't have to live out the rest of her days not knowing what had happened to Christine. But
so tragic.
Unfortunately, that's not to be.
It's so sad that 60 years plus have gone by. It does mean that parents have died and witnesses have aged and suspects have come and gone.
Yeah.
It really is a tragedy that we don't think that there will be an outcome to this, because at the end of the day, Marion and Christine, they're sort of frozen in time.
They are.
They remain 15-year-olds in all this.
I've just got goosebumps you saying that. It's so true though. And, with the Beaumont children, I think when we spoke about that case, we were we think this can be solved. We think that's absolutely something that we may even see a conclusion to in our lifetime.
God, I'd love to.
I hope so. With this, I don't have that hope.
No, I feel with this, unfortunately, I feel it is a bit different, isn't it? The what's left in terms of evidence, there doesn't seem to be anywhere else to go. And we can only sort of go, well, look, this piece of shit and Christopher Wilder looks pretty promising.
But that's as far as you can get. And the fact that he's dead now, I mean, you're not going to...
No one's going to go, oh, yeah, he told me.
Yeah.
He did it.
But even then, like, that doesn't
doesn't
mean
hold
much,
water enough,
probably with
like-
the people he'd associate with.
No,
But,
I think unfortunately this is going to remain Australia's longest unsolved double
Cold
murder.
case file. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awful to say that, and I hope that we don't ever have that again. Something top it, because everyone needs answers. This poor family, I know that you're saying that their family's broken over it, and I know that some of the particularly I think it was Hans who's come out most publicly from the Schmidt family.
Yeah.
He says like his mum never recovered from losing Marianne, so it's just. It's so awful.
It's absolutely awful.
Yeah.
Just quickly, I just remembered one of the theories that one of the police officers had. So
Oh,
he was
yeah?
the original. This didn't end up going anywhere, but I just thought it was an interesting one. I'll just see if I've got it in my notes. But basically, one of the lead detectives very early on had a theory that this criminal, a known criminal by the name of Alan Bassett, was the perpetrator. Mm-hmm. And the reason he said that was because... So he had been jailed in 1966 for the brutal murder of a young girl in Wollongong. Mm-hmm. Similar-ish circumstances in that I think she actually was kidnapped from the beach, raped and murdered, but they found him and convicted him very quickly.
Right.
This Alan Bassett then painted a picture when he was in prison and sent it to this detective. And this detective is convinced that Alan Bassett is the perpetrator because he said that there were like all these Easter eggs in the painting that kind of was suggesting to him that he was the perpetrator.
Right.
Now, I think they looked into this a lot.
I think I vaguely now remember reading something about this now that you're saying it.
They looked
I
into
feel
this
like
a
it
lot
was
and they were able to eliminate. Again,
there were certain bits
I'm not
about
quite sure
what he
how.
painted that weren't quite right, of like what wasn't released to the public.
Yeah.
That they could rule out that it wasn't factual, of like he'd made some assumptions on things that weren't.
I think to the day that particular detective died, he thought this Alan Bassett was the main perpetrator. So I just thought that was worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. God. I mean, that's the thing. I do not understand people claiming that they were the perpetrator of crimes when they weren't too. Like, it's just so shit of them. It makes them even... You're a piece of shit for doing what you've done already.
Yeah.
Why be even more of a piece of shit and get yourself involved in other things so that people don't get looked for on those cases? It's such a mind fuck.
It's such a mind fuck.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It just makes them infinitely more guilty.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. Really does.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It just sucks. There's no end to it. I hate the unsolved ones.
Yeah. And
tell us
like
your
the
thoughts.
unsolved ones are one thing, but the unsolved ones where you kind of know they're never going to be solved, that's a whole nother
That's
thing.
really bad. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we want to know what everyone thinks. What do you think? Is Christopher Wilder
Your
the main
front runner?
man?
Do you
or
have any other theories?
what's someone
Anyone
else
we've missed?
Yeah, anyone you've missed? Do you think it's Ivan Milat? You know, like is this his first? Because this would have been Christopher Wilder's first, if that's the case too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that? Oh my God! When you think about it being someone's first killing, it's pretty brutal and pretty full on.
It's absolutely brutal, but it is a bit frenzied too.
Yeah,
so like it is a bit disorganized.
Yeah.
So I can kind of that to me rings true for it potentially being Wilder.
Yeah.
And his first.
Yeah, that's
first
true.
attempt. Yeah.
Ugh. God.
Crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
All right.
All right. Well, next week we are going to be talking about Israel Keys.
Oh.
So different one.
Yep.
So make sure you hit that subscribe button or follow whatever app you're listening to us in, so you can come back next week and hear that episode. But otherwise, stay curious, crime besties.
Bye.
The grill is shot. The chairs are held together by optimism. And what happened to the rug? Sounds like your outdoor setup is not ready for patio season. Fix it all with Wayfair. Shop Wayfair for grills, rugs, furniture, and more. With 20 million 5-star reviews, room of choice delivery, and expert setup on qualifying orders, it's never been easier to do more for less. Get 10% off your first eligible purchase. Hurry to wayfair.com or download the app now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.